Alright boys, so I made a mistake, and luckily there's a way to solve that issue or the mistake that I made, just trying to rush through things. And basically what it is that while I was doing my oil pan gasket, I should have had the rod bearings checked, especially with what the Z4 mileage is. The Z4 is now at 144,000 miles, and I did the oil pan around 130. So when I did that, I really should have checked the bearings, but I didn't. And now I'm gonna deal with this a different way because I don't wanna go through all that work again just to check the rod bearings and then also do the oil pan gasket all over again. But luckily there's a company by the name of Blackstone Laboratories. What they do is they just send you a kit and they're able to test your oil for you, and we'll go through the form and the checklist that they go through just to make sure that your engine is healthy and all that. So what I'll do is I'll go on their website right now and I'll put it up here just so you get a sense of what it looks like. But basically what you do is you go to their website, you fill out all your information, and you get that kit sent out to you, and it takes up to a week. I think I got it in like 3 days. So the kit came to me in 3 days. It was pretty quick. And what I did actually right now is I just ran the car to go get some coffee just to let it warm up and let the oil cycle through so I can get a good analysis. So now I just got back and I got it up on ramps. So I'm just gonna go through a regular oil change. I have the kit right here. So this is how you're gonna send it back to them. And then they also include this. And I'll show you guys the contents here quick. Alright, so it's all empty now. And we have the form that we're going to fill out. The container that your used oil is going to go into. And a pig mat just to soak up any oil. And then here they included just a little advertisement. And then some do's and don'ts. Don't drink the oil.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
All right, so I'm going to get started on the oil change here on the Z4. Like I said, I already got it up on the ramps. And luckily the car's warmed up and I got the oil cycled through, so I'll get a good analysis. I won't show you guys the oil change part because you already know how to do that. I'll just get to the part where I fill up that little container and then start going through the steps of just packaging it up and then mailing it back to them. Okay, so we have the sample here. It's all full. I got the pig mat, so I'm going to wrap it around this. But before we do that and start to package everything, I'm going to go ahead and fill out this form, which is what they'll get once I send it back. So with this, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and fill out both sides. So I'll just go through it with you guys, but then I'll fill out my information. So my name, address, the date I took the sample, email, phone number, the mileage of the vehicle, or I'm sorry, the mileage on the oil, and then the mileage on the engine, phone, engine make and model, oil added between oil changes. I don't add any oil. I'm not burning any. Oil type. So any questions that I have, or concerns I should say, and then fuel type. So then my information on this end once again, but I'll include the card number. So for you guys, whether you want to do a check or a credit card, you could do either or. I'm going to do my credit card, so once they get this, they'll just bill me. And then once again, vehicle make and model and year. So was the oil changed when the sample was taken? Yes, I'm changing the oil right now. Am I interested in extended oil use? No, I do oil changes on this about every 4,000 miles. If I use any additives, I don't use any additives. I use Liquimoly, the green type. So that one itself has its own additives. So I'll just note below that I use Liquimoly. And then the TBN is just an additional service that we don't need for this vehicle or for any N54 vehicles. It says right here what TBN measures. I'm good with that. So any more comments or concerns or questions, and then email address. So I'll do all my information on that. So that just gives you guys a rundown of what you're going to be filling out on your slip. All right, so another question you guys may have is unit ID. Basically, you just put what you want this sample to be called. They're kind of like a nickname for the order. So I put 09 BMW, and that'll be on your account when you create an account on their website. So it'll just basically put all the information under that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I have it all filled out. I'm also going to go ahead and write my name on top of this cap. So that's another one of the steps they want you to do, is make sure you put your name on here. And I'm just going to do it with a Sharpie. And now I'm just going to wrap this around here. And when I do that, I'll put it in this little Ziploc bag. All right, so I got this in the bag. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. So that's in there. Go ahead and put this in there as well. So get that to fit. Put the cap on. So there, it's all secure. Now we can go ahead and put the sample and all the contents into this bag and just drop it off at USPS, and I'm able to fill this out to see where it's coming from. So that's it. And with that, I'm going to be able to see if there's any metal particles in the oil and what other sorts of chemicals are in the oil, such as coolant and all that kind of stuff. And when I get that form, I'll be sure to share it with you guys. So this isn't the end of the video. I'll go ahead and then cut to when I get that form. And what they say is that actually if you put your email address in that form, you'll be able to get the results the same day they test your oil. So they'll email you the same results that they're going to mail you. So you don't have to wait for the form to get mailed to you, and you can check out the results through your email. So yeah, I'm just going to wait until that happens. For me, I'll just end it right here, but I'll come back to you guys once I get that. All right, so I got the results for the oil analysis, and they're on my phone. So I'm trying out the new GoPro to film, since I have to read off of my phone. So hopefully the microphone picks up everything and the GoPro works well. So I'm just gonna bring up the oil analysis here, and also I'll put it up here so it should show you guys the document right here that I received, so you guys can read along and see the entire results and read off everything that I'm reading. Alright, so it didn't take too long for them to get back to me, and after I got the document they also charged me, so it was only $35. And this gives me a good peace of mind as to my engine's health at the moment, because like I told you guys, I don't want to open up the oil pan once again. So if we go here, we can see that Blackstone Laboratories, and it has my vehicle information, the type of oil I told them that I use, and all the information. And then here they have a short paragraph basically explaining how the engine in my BMW appears to be in good health, and all the parts seem to be in normal wear. They did know that I was using their business mainly to take a look at the health of my rod bearings, and from what they could tell in the analysis, it shows all the metals and all the other chemicals that they were able to find. And what they said is that my car shows less than half of the average vehicle that they see for this specific engine, as in terms of wear on the metal and chemicals in the engine. So here you can see, I'll try to zoom in on each chemical and every single other item that it has on here on their list. of properties, and you can see on the left is mine, and on the right is are the averages for all the other vehicles. So I let them know that I change my oil every 4,000 miles, and then they have my sample date, and that I don't add any oil in between oil changes. The only thing that they did talk to me about, well, not talk to me about, but that did mention, was they were wondering why I was using 5W40. But you know, if you guys are on the forums, everybody's always arguing about oil use and what oil to use and what weight to use. So on the engine of BMW, and from BMW's recommendation, they say 5W30, which I should be using, but I use 5W40 because that's the package that I order from FCP Euro. It includes 5W40. I don't think it's such a big deal. Either way, I only use this vehicle in the summer, so don't really use it in the winter. Yeah, if you guys want to read more on this, it gets a lot more specific on the items too, so you guys can zoom in if you care to see basically the specific items that they test for. So just reading one of the most important ones here is like the magnesium, calcium, zinc, and chemicals like antifreeze and fuel. So fuel is a really big thing and was one of my concerns because I haven't really tested my injectors, and I was actually going to just do the actual testing to see if the index 10s that I have on my engine are leaking or not. And there's a proper way to check to see if they're leaking or not by disconnecting them and facing them the other way of the engine and putting out some cardboard. It's a whole process. You guys can look it up, but that's a good way to check if your injectors are leaking. And that's also another reason of how rod bearings begin to spin on these engines, is because a lot of fuel gets in the oil and messes up the viscosity of the oil, not lubricating those rod bearings correctly. So that was, like I said, a big concern of mine, and it looks like everything looked good. So I'm glad I could take you guys along on that process of doing the Blackstone oil analysis, and it helps you guys out to see the process and what you're going to be receiving for your BMW N54. And I highly recommend it, especially if you guys don't need to do the oil pan gasket, and knowing how much work that is. This is a better way and a safe way of knowing your engine's health, so you don't have to go through all that work if you've already done your oil pan gasket like me. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.